Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, the 30th of November 2022. So yesterday, stocks cower ahead of Powell's speech tomorrow, but it is the blackout period right after that matters more. I think they're alluding to the fact that he's not going to be speaking for a week after this, so it depends how the market interprets what he's got to say. In the data-packed week, it is tomorrow's speech, that's today now, by Fed Chair Powell at Brookings, titled Economic Outlook and the Labour Market at 1:30 p.m. That's US New York time. That is captivating market. So 6:30 p.m. for those of us this side of the pond. Stocks unwind China optimism after yields rise. And again, similar thing. US stocks were subdued as higher yields offset China reopening optimism for yesterday. News today, well, the big one, obviously, according to that headline, the first one, that Powell is speaking at 6:30 p.m. But so we've got everything else in between that, which gives us European flash CPI. And then we've got ADP numbers, which are a precursor to the non-farm payrolls on Friday. We've got the preliminary GDP, which is set to show an increase by all accounts, and then the jobs openings also, and then pending home sales as well. So quite a data-filled day, particularly from 1:15 there through to 3 p.m. And then 6:30, the Dow will react to what Powell has to say and the electronic session of the German DAX. So let's have a look at the Dow for yesterday, see what it did, and all of the other stock markets. So yesterday we can see that the Dow was lower, but there was a lot more volume than the previous day, and the range is narrower, so there was some support there. So immediately that says somebody was buying the market and supporting it. So we had the shakeout in the 30-minute chart. There was buying at the S1, and the market has been brought back. We just need to close now back above that 50-bar moving average. We're already trading above the DP, the close. So a close above this area here, where we've got some solid resistance there. Once we can get through this, then we take out these other two, we're back to the high. So there's no major news until lunchtime, so there's nothing to stop the market from being pumped to the to yesterday's high. In the German DAX, well, this one's already highlighted for you. We've got demand yesterday, again, narrow range. Market starting to move up on the overnight. In the 30-minute chart, very similar picture to the Dow. It was choppy session yesterday. It was down, it was up, it was down, it was up. And then overnight, it's managed to close back above the DP and the close there, the daily pivots, and above the averages too. The only one that isn't is the 200 MA, which is above. But if we just squeeze this down a bit, you'll see yesterday's high that the market is going to be gunning for this morning when the futures open at 7 a.m. It all looks pretty buoyant and no major issues unless there's a black swan event. 5-minute chart for yesterday. Let's just move this across. As you'll see, the futures moving higher yesterday than the cash market, bringing the market back down as soon as it opened. A bit of a rally before moving lower once more. Then moving back to the DP. It was a bit of a magnet yesterday, as can be seen there. We had a shakeout at mid-morning. I happened to be short at this point and was able to take advantage of the shakeout, but got out at the close because it's amazing how many times the market had traded down to this and held at this earlier on as well, which you'll see there. It tested the low. As I've always said to you, if you can get a trade off the low in a bull market, it's one of the best areas for risk reward, as you can see here. The momentum was shifting. We were down at the low and they brought the market back. So as the market ran out of steam, I took a short and fortunately it wasn't stopped out, and then the market had a shakeout. Don't know what was behind that move, but didn't do anything in the afternoon as Bailey spoke yesterday, came back to the DP and then sold off. But overnight the market looking fairly stable there and above the DP in the 5-minute and the 200 MA, and at the moment we've got all the averages in the right direction there as well. So yeah, the week so far GP is 45113, profit factor 4183. Doesn't really reflect to the longer term, which is around 2.5. Win-loss ratio is 78 to 22. They're sort of around 77 to 23 is around that. It doesn't really matter as long as the winners outweigh the losers. To be honest with you, I've had it where it's been inversely against me and still made a profit because I'll keep the losses small. So yeah, so far so good this week, and I suspect today should be quite good as well initially, but then it will go quiet waiting for Powell this afternoon once the ADP numbers are out of the way. And in the S&P, again, demand for yesterday, the market wouldn't go down, they were buying it and intend to obviously bring it back on whatever Powell's got to say today. There's the shakeout again in the S&P, but again, like everything else, above the DP at the moment, and no doubt hoping to drive the markets back to the high of yesterday. The FTSE's doing the best out of all of them. We've only got a few days of red bars, closing below the 5-bar moving average, but then it was supported by the 200 MA with demand and a drop off in the momentum, and then the market's been free to move back to the upside. Fair old cluster of resistance here though, going back to the left side of the chart at these levels. So yeah, it's got to work hard to take this out, but if we have a look at the 30-minute chart, we're already at yesterday's high, unlike the other markets. So the FTSE very strong. Whatever Bailey said yesterday is obviously lending support to this market. And in the currencies, GBP, JPY, we're still pulling back a bit. We've got demand for yesterday as well. Quiet day at the 50, 62% retracement there. Again, waiting for Powell. Bit of volatility there. We had a 100-point move down on the GBP, JPY. Then we had a bounce back up to the 50 retracement with selling at this level, as can be seen there. And then we've seen the demand come in and move prices back overnight with a bit more selling coming in and moving lower, as you've seen there, to yesterday's low, where the market is now bouncing. In the pound, we'll just pick this one up. Again, demand. Everybody was buying yesterday, weren't they, towards the close, trying to hold the markets. So the pound still sideways to higher. Yesterday, choppy session, 100 points though, but it was you had to put up with a lot as it made its way lower. Market bouncing to just above the DP and the 50 EMA, but slammed at the moment, so watch the close and also the low, which is tying in with that close for yesterday. And finally, US dollar also higher yesterday, as could be expected. However, there's a bit of supply coming into the market, the opposite of what we've seen in the pound and the GBP, JPY. And you can see there we're also just above the 5-bar moving average. This in particular will be waiting to see what Powell has to say. So yesterday you can see we were sitting on the DP just there, then they moved the market up, pulled back, and then sold off overnight, but found support at the DP, the 50 EMA, and now heading back towards the close and see if it can take out yesterday's high. Meanwhile, in the metals, holding up fairly well. Reversal yesterday, despite the fact that the dollar moved higher as well. But this 200 MA in the daily silver chart is giving this market a bit of grief, as we've spoken of all week. That 2150 is the area. At the moment, it's very quiet. Again, 30-minute time frame, and the 200 MA is also giving this market a bit of grief and trading at yesterday's close at the moment. And finally, in gold, sideways to higher there. Needs to take out the 62, 70, 89 to move higher. But again, sideways, waiting for news overnight. A bit of a choppy one yesterday as well for the gold market. But overnight, the market moving higher, but finding a bit of resistance at the moment at the 1750 level there. Okay, that's it for this one. It'll be interesting to see what Powell's got to say at 6:30 p.m. this evening. No doubt we'll find out soon enough. Okay, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.